Hello students, today we will do chapter 3 from your hornbill. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together. It is written by Gordon Cook and Alan East. Gordon Cook was a descendant of Captain James Cook. As you must be aware, Captain James Cook undertook a journey around the earth on his boat 200 years ago, and now Gordon Cook wanted to repeat history by undertaking Cook's journey again around the world after the 200 years. He wanted to travel with his wife Mary, and they had been preparing for this voyage for the last 16 years. They had learned seafaring techniques, sailing, and they had prepared a boat. They had got a boat built, which was professionally built and was called the Wave Walker. The boat also had been tested in very rough waters for last some time, and they were prepared to set voyage with their children. The whole family then set off sail in July 1976 from Plymouth. They were his wife and two children, Suzanne and Jonathan, aged 7 and 6 respectively. They had a very peaceful and wonderful trip till Cape Town, and there they hired two seamen. One was an American, Mr. Vigil, and the other was a Swiss. He was called Herb. They hired these two crewmen to sail through the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean is considered to be one of the roughest terrains for sailors. As soon as they left Cape Town, they had started facing rough weather. Yet, they spent a happy Christmas together. They celebrated Christmas on the ship, and they were happy. They were prepared for the disaster, and they started doing their raft drills, lashing things together and preparing for the storm. Yet they were not prepared for the kind of danger that they faced later. They were facing rough weather, and then suddenly the winds dropped. There was no movement, and suddenly they were hit by a big wave, more than 15 meters, higher than the ship itself, and the ship was hurled down towards the sea, and the captain, who was on the wheel at that time, was hurled off into the sea. He prepared to die. He had thought that he was not going to survive now, but suddenly there was another wave and the ship was hurled up and the captain was thrown back. Though he faced a lot of injuries, his teeth were broken, his limbs were aching, yet he tried to manage the situation. He went back he gave the wheel to his wife, and he went back below the ship, and there Vigil and Herb were madly pumping out the water. Suddenly the pumps blocked, and there was no way to pump out the water because the spare electrical pump also short-circuited. But the captain had the presence of mind, and he suddenly remembered that he had a spare pump too, and with that they started pumping out the water. In the meantime, he wanted to check on his family when he went to the children. The only thing that Suzanne told him was that she was hit on her head and had a little bump. At that point of time, the captain didn't worry about the bump, but later it turned out to be a big clot which was removed by surgeries. Yet the children didn't bother their parents, and they worked as a team to repair the leakage and to pump out the water. In the face of such imminent threat of life and danger, they all had their presence of mind. They worked as a team together. The children suffered, but they did not worry their parents. They supported them. Mary took to the wheel. They worked together as a team. And in the end, when the storm was not abating and the ship was damaged badly, they were prepared to die. Little Jonathan came to his father and said, "We are not afraid to die if we can all be together." This shows that they were all very mutually attached to each other. They loved each other, and they were all a brave and strong family, along with the crewmen. The ship was damaged, and suddenly the god was on their side, and the storm abated. But the ship was so damaged that they couldn't reach Australia, where they were heading. So the captain again used his presence of mind, studied maps, and found out that there was a small island which was a scientific base, a French scientific base, and they decided to sail towards that island. But now there was again a difficulty. They did not have any equipment. They did not know where to head, and the captain was so intelligent and his seafaring skill was so good that he made a calculated guess which proved out to be right, and they reached the Isle of Amsterdam and they were safe and sound, though the ship was badly damaged and they had to probably abandon their voyage further. Now, this, as you must have noticed, is a narrative. It is in chronological order. They started sail before Christmas, they celebrate Christmas, and then every day's account is given till they are hit by the storm and they reach the Isle of Amsterdam. This next, the title of the story is taken from Jonathan's remark, the little child's remark, "We're not afraid to die if we can all be together." It is very appropriate as it brings out the bravery, the grit and courage of the family, the little children and the crewmen. The writer has in family and also their mutual love. Then there are the themes of the story. There are many interwoven themes. We can roughly take out 5 themes from the story. First is the knowing and taking of challenges. We all know that if we go to the sea, we can face the storms, we can even die. Yet, being human, we take up new challenges every day. We fear our life, yet we risk it, because that is human nature. Then, the survival instinct, which kicks in as soon as we face death or as soon as we face danger. We are humans and the survival instinct always kicks in, like the survival instinct of the family. They did all they could, used their presence of mind, did not lose faith, had heart. Then the bravery and the courage of everyone and the teamwork that they did together. Also the faith they had in God, in life, in each other, and their presence of mind, in which they had been facing so much danger, yet they didn't give up. And then there is the captaincy. Gordon Cook was an excellent captain. He did not lose heart even when he was badly injured. He did not lose heart when he saw his children injured. He did not lose heart when he saw his ship being damaged. Yet he tried to reach land, which is the ultimate trait of captaincy, to keep his crew and his family safe. The story is an example of extreme courage in the face of danger, in the face of fear, in the face of death, and how we overcome fear and death remaining together.